What is up, race fans? My name is Owen, and welcome back to the Ben Fender podcast. And in this one, we will be reacting to the 67th annual Daytona 500, baby. Oh, NASCAR has officially started. Oh, it is so good. All right. First, we got the duels. So, there were two duels. Each of them were 60 laps. The first one was to secure the inside line. And then the second one was the outside lane. And the winner was guaranteed third. As, yeah. But as you'll see later, the rule kind of didn't apply to one of them. But let's get into the first one anyway. So, Briscoe and Priest were on the front row. There were 5 transfer drivers in this one, being Chandler Smith, Helio Castroneves, Justin Allgaier, J.J. Yaley, and Martin Truex Jr. So, one driver will get by being the highest finish. I think Martin Truex Jr. had the fastest lap time out of these 5, so he's kind of automatically in. And then also, Castroneves was also automatically in for some reason. Part of me thinks because he's an IndyCar legend, they're just going to say, yeah, go on in. But, yeah. So, at the start, Briscoe and Priest are battling for the lead, and Martin Truex Jr. is leading the transfer drivers. Then Zane Smith slams the wall, bringing up the first caution. And Smith is out. That was kind of a pretty hard impact to continue off of, if I'm being honest. Then after that, Josh Berry takes the lead. Then Chandler Smith leads the transfer drivers. Then the big one of the duel, as Chandler Smith spins, slamming the wall, and he ends up collecting Castroneves, Tyler Reddick, Justin Haley, Ty Gibbs, Bubba Wallace, and J.J. Yaley. So that brought out the second caution, and Chandler Smith and Castroneves are out. So Chandler Smith does not get into the main event, but Castroneves does, and he starts dead last in 41st, which we had 41 drivers in the 500, which is nuts. After that, Chase Elliott took the lead. Then Martin Truex took the lead of the transfer drivers. Then Josh Berry took the lead. And Michael McDowell got an improper restart procedure penalty. So he probably moved before the start-finish line, or like change lanes, which you're not allowed to do. As well as, I believe it was Ty Dillon got a too fast exiting penalty. Then Chase Elliott ends up taking the lead. And then the third caution comes out for debris. As somebody, I think it was Tigit? No. Somebody lost their side window on the passenger side. Then Chase Briscoe goes behind the wall, and he retires his car as Briscoe is starting from pole for the main race and didn't want to damage his car and risk starting out back for the main event. Then Ross Chastain takes the lead. Then William Byron takes the lead. Then Bubba Wallace takes the lead. Then Byron and Wallace trade the lead back and forth for a bit until Ryan Preece comes in and trades the lead back and forth with Bubba Wallace for a bit. Justin Allgaier ends up taking the transfer lead. Then William Byron comes back and starts battling Bubba Wallace for the transfer lead. For the actual main race lead, I should say, not the transfer lead. Then another debris caution comes out, so that is the fourth caution of the first duel. Then Ty Dillon and Bubba Wallace trade the lead for a bit. Then J.J. Yeley takes the transfer lead. Then Justin Allgaier takes the transfer lead. And Bubba Wallace holds off William Byron and Ty Dillon to win the first duel at Daytona, as Bubba Wallace will start third in the main event. So the top five were Bubba Wallace, William Byron, Ty Dillon, Ross Chastain, and Tyler Reddick. And the three drivers moving on was Justin Allgaier, Martin Truex Jr. on time, and then Helio Castroneves. On to duel number 2, where before the start, Christopher Bell had an unapproved adjustment penalty, so he got sent to the back. And there were 4 drivers in this battling for the transfer spot, being Corey LaJoie, Anthony Alfredo, BJ McLeod, and Jimmy Johnson. So, starting this out, Austin Cindric and Joey Logano are on the front row. Cindric takes the initial lead, while Jimmy Johnson leads the transfer guys. Then Corey LaJoie takes the lead for the transfer guys. Then Denny Hamlin takes the lead. Then Jimmy Johnson takes the lead for the transfers. Then Eric Jones takes the lead. Then next Daniel Suarez took the lead. Then Anthony Alfredo took the lead of the transfers drivers. Then green flag pit stop start, where Ryan Blaney ends up leading. After that, Corey LaJoie leads the transfer drivers. Then Brad Keselowski takes the lead. Then Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin and John Hunter Nemechek all had 2 fast entering penalties. After that, Chris Buescher ends up taking the lead. Then Alex Bowman, Daniel Suarez, and Brad Keselowski all make contact, bringing out the first caution of Duel 2, and all 3 of them are out. And after that, Austin Cindric ends up taking the lead, and Austin Cindric wins. And as Austin Cindric was on pole for this, he actually will start second rather than fourth. So, the top 5 were Austin Cindric, Eric Jones, Chris Buescher, Denny Hamlin, and Joey Logano. And the 2 drivers from this one that are advancing are Corey LaJoie and Jimmie Johnson on time. Now on to the main event. Alright, so before the start, a bunch of drivers had to go to the rear due to either being in a backup car or unapproved adjustments. Those all being Kyle Larson, Ty Gibbs, Riley Herbst, SVG, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Brad Keselowski, Daniel Suarez, Justin Haley, Alex Bowman, and Helio Castroneves. Alright, so stage 1 was 65 laps. Briscoe and Cindric lead are on the front row. Briscoe leads the initial start. Then William Byron takes the lead. Then 11 laps in, the rain started, so which brought out the first caution and the first red flag. They attempted to go again, but they only went they only went 10 more. They did 10 caution laps, and decided to postpone the race for a bit, as in almost 4 hours was the rain delay. And when they got back going, Joey Logano ended up leading. William Byron then takes the lead. Then LaJoie takes the lead. Then Logano. Then Elliott. Then Logano again. Then AJ Allmendinger ended up retiring his car. They never really said what for or what happened to him. I saw him kind of drop to the back early on, but no mention of him at all. After that, Denny Hamlin kind of saves a spin, but in doing that, he collected Zane Smith, Austin Cindric, and Josh Berry, bringing out the second caution of the race. Zane Smith ended up going off track for a while, and with that caution, that actually ended stage 1. So at the end of stage 1, there were there was 1 car out, 1 car off track, and 1 car that was a lap down. Going into stage 2, Joey Logano won the race off pit road, but a couple of penalties as Justin Allgaier and Kyle Busch both got over the wall too soon penalties. Then Alex Bowman ended up taking the lead. Then the first big one of the race, as someone spun, and Denny Hamlin, Helio Castroneves, Kyle Busch, Riley Herbst, Ross Chastain, Chase Briscoe, Jimmie Johnson, John Hunter Nemechek, Martin Truex Jr., and Cody Ware were all collected. bringing out the third caution of the race. And there were only 3 drivers out for this, being Castro Neves, MTJ, Martin Truex Jr., and Ross Chastain. Then Joey Logano ended up going into the pits and looking under his hood for a little bit. He was having electrical issues, but it turned out that he had a plastic bag that was stuck to the front that kind of got sucked into his engine. And so they had to take that out and still somehow managed to stay only 1 lap down, which he got that back pretty soon. But, yeah, after that, Ryan Blaney and Austin Cindric battle for the lead, where Cindric ends up prevailing. Then Ryan Preece ends up taking the lead, where Preece, Cindric, and Gragson all battled for it, as at this point they were 3 wide. Then a debris caution happened, so caution number 4, as Austin Cindric won the race off pit road, where Austin Cindric, Michael McDowell, and Chase Elliott battle for the lead. Then Gragson replaces Elliott in the battle for the lead a little while later. Then Ryan Preece ends up taking the lead. Then Cindric, Bowman, and Preece battle for the lead, where Cindric prevails. Then Ryan Blaney takes the lead kind of right at the line, and Blaney wins stage 2. At the end of stage 2, I believe there was 4 cars that were out, 1 that was off track, and there was a couple that were laps down. I think like 3 or 4 or something like that. I don't know for sure, though. Then on to the third and final stage, which was 70 laps. Where Ryan Blaney won the race off pit road. Blaney and Busch battle for the lead, where Bubba Wallace ends up actually taking the lead from both of them. Then Blaney and Wallace battle for the lead for a while. Then William Byron joins that battle. And then a couple laps later disappears, then rejoins, then disappears again. Where Bubba Wallace ends up taking the lead. Then the 5th caution comes out, again for debris. Austin Cindric won the race off pit road. Then Bubba Wallace takes a lead. Then Cindric retakes his lead. Then the second big one of the race, where Ricky Stenhouse Jr. goes and blocks Joey Logano, who spins and collects Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney, Todd Gilliland, Chase Elliott, Brad Keselowski, Michael McDowell, Noah Gragson, and Cole Custer. A couple of those guys only had like glancing blows. Others, like Logano and Busch, didn't fare too well, and both Logano and Busch are out. After that, Corey LaJoie ends up taking the lead. Then Denny Hamlin took the lead. Then the third big one, where Christopher Bell gets turned and ends up collecting Eric Jones, Ryan Preece, Daniel Suarez, Kyle Larson, Brad Keselowski, Justin Allgaier, and Bubba Wallace. And Ryan Preece ends up flipping again. And that brings out the 7th caution and the second red flag of the race. The first one was for the rain earlier. So both Priest and Bell are out. After that, Austin Cindric ends up taking the lead. Then Denny Hamlin gets turned and collects, from what I saw, was Ty Gibbs, Cole Custer, Chase Briscoe. I believe Austin Cindric was also in it, but there was a lot more that I didn't see all of who got in it. But it was like the fourth big one of the race. And which that what happened on the last lap. And William Byron ended up taking the lead. And William Byron wins his second straight Daytona 500. So the top five were not Ryan Blaney, William Byron, Tyler Reddick, Jimmy Johnson. What the? How? Okay. Chase Briscoe and John Hunter Nemechek. Top five. Where the hell did Jimmy come from? Like, Jimmy was in the back for most of the race. Then at the start of stage 3, he was up in the top, up like near around the top 10, top 15. Like, I think he got to 6th at one point. Then on the green flag pit stops, or one of the caution pit stops, as he was about to pull out, someone pulled in and kind of blocked him. So Jimmy had to back up and go out, and then he was in 30th again. And he guess he slowly worked his way up, and when the big one happened, he sauntered through it. Huh. Honestly, definitely a better finish for him than all of his return races combined. But with that being said, there's a couple things I wanted to say. One being why they've always shown the state, like how many laps are in each stage and bloody bloody blah. This time they didn't do it. And this time the only reason I knew how many laps were in the stage was halfway through the stage when it showed this many laps to go. And or they said there's like 65 laps in the stage. I'm like, oh, okay. Because the graphic did not show stage 1, stage 2. Which it normally does. And honestly, I just want stages to go away. They're just... It's just more boring racing. Or don't throw a caution at the end of the stages. Like, come on. But, all in all, you can't go wrong with a Daytona 500. So I'll probably rate this 8 out of 10. I love the chaos. I love the crashes. And it was also just great racing all around. So with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, as well as go check out my other channels, one being my main one of Fan Rantan, and the other one being a D&D one that is under the Boundless Shores. Please go check those guys out, and we will see you next week for Atlanta. Peace.